This is topic G3a, and in this one we're looking at, it says postulates and theorems. Okay, so we previously talked about what that means, and specifically we're looking at those theorems around triangles, special lines, line segments, and rays associated with a triangle. So in order to fully understand this one and talk about it, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go to the theorem list. And inside the app, I actually have that theorem list. So you can pull that up in the main menu and look at it. So let's take a look at the theorem list. So this is the official theorem list that pertains to this particular topic, G3a. Triangles and special lines and line segments that are inside those triangles. This list, this entire list, is something that you really need to know. You need to be familiar. I wouldn't spend the time to memorize them word for word. I would spend the time to understand them. If that means right now you need to pause and take a good look through them, you should be familiar with some of them. If you're not with others, then maybe that's something that you should investigate more. What I'm going to focus on here is what is the test, the end of course assessment, going to assess you on for these. So let's take a look at two different possibilities that you may be assessed using all of these. Again, pause it if you need to take a better look at some of these here. The first thing that could happen with all of these theorems is that you can have like real practical examples of triangles and whatnot, and you'll be asked to find side lengths or angle measures. So I pulled this one up as an example here. So we have a couple of things here. We have triangle ABC. We also have this point Z that's out here. And so if you look at angle ZAB, it's 110 degrees, and we call that an exterior angle. Now, if you were to go look at your your theorem list right now, you would discover that, hey, there is a theorem that talks about how the exterior angle has a relationship with the two remote interior angles, which are here. So we call those the remote interior angles. And the relationship is that the two remote interior angles added together always equal the measure of the exterior angle. So that means that 110 degrees has to equal the measure of angle C plus the measure of angle B. And so what does it have to be? Well, the measure of angle B has to be 50 degrees. So this is an example of using the theorems to come up with an angle measure. Alright? So this is just one example of using one theorem. There's an entire list there. I didn't count. It was 10, 12, I don't know. But the whole list, you could come up with examples like this. We're going to look at one other example. There's a second possibility that you could be tested on for these theorems, and that is that you could be asked to do a proof, and inside that proof, this theorem right here, or any of the other ones, could be used as one of the reasons. I'm going to stress something really important here, that you will not be asked to prove that those theorems on that list are true. So don't waste your time memorizing or trying to get down any proofs for those theorems. What will happen is you'll be asked to maybe prove that a side or a segment is congruent to another side or segment, or an angle is congruent to an angle, and somewhere in the proof you will use one of the theorems from that list. The idea is that you're familiar with the meaning of it and you can use that in a deductive argument, not to actually prove that those things are true. Okay, so the two possibilities are that you could solve a practical problem finding an angle or side length, or use those theorems as a reason in part of a proof. Get to know the theorem list, spend time understanding them, and you'll have a good grip on this section of the end of course assessment.